The Assessment is out online, new dystopian sci-fi drama, feature debut of director Fleur Fortune, starring Alicia Vikander, Elizabeth Olsen, and Himesh Patel. I don't want to give away too much of the plot because I think the movie does an excellent job of slowly explaining itself to the audience. But basically, it's a dystopian future. It's kind of clear that humanity is coping with some sort of climate and resource crisis. And we follow a couple who lives in this solitary house on a rocky coast, Mia and Aryan, and they want to have a child, and therefore they apply for what is called an assessment. An assessor, played in this case by Alicia Vikander, is sent from the state and comes to live with you and observe you over the course of the next 7 days and decides whether you fit the criteria, whatever they are, and are good enough to become a parent. And that's as much as I'm saying about the story at this point. What you really need to know is this is my favorite kind of sci-fi, and it's executed very well. What it does, why it's my favorite kind of sci-fi, is it presents the audience with an interesting scenario, a thought experiment that provokes reflection, but at the same time it manages to shine a light on current issues of society. In this case, the themes explored by the film are most obviously parenthood and its challenges, the idea that a lot of being a parent is sacrifice of your time, energy, perhaps personal career and growth, that you have to be patient and calm under stress and live with the constant responsibility for someone else. And also the kind of question of how much a person can really know whether they're ready, how much can they know what it's like to have a child before they have a child, and are they really up for it. It's also about asking a question about modern society in terms of this sort of selfish desire to live as long and as comfortably as you can. And the scenario presented here has people live extremely lengthy lifetimes at the cost of having children. It's also about truth and honesty in a relationship, and about control and being able to decide whether you want children or not on your own. I think that the film does an excellent job of slowly revealing relevant information about the world and the context of its characters. There's this fantastic dinner party sequence in the middle of the film, which is essentially an exposition dump, but it's done so cleverly that you don't consciously notice it at the time, because the guests are rapidly progressing the conversation while Virginia is behaving like a brat and distracting both the main characters and us, the audience, resulting in this frantically paced scene where you're like, hang on, I want to listen to what these people have to say, I want to focus, but I can't. It's very well done. It's also got great balancing of tone. The film is darkly funny in the first half especially, but then towards the end it gets more somber and depressing. I also liked how the movie ends with each of the three characters choosing a different path forward, essentially representing three different philosophies. And also the kind of world presented here is something that seems, at least to me, scarily possible. It's not so far-fetched that I cannot imagine a world like this. I was watching it thinking, whoa, is this where we're heading? I think that the performances, particularly the two female leads, are spectacular. I never really understood up until now why Alicia Vikander is considered so good. I always found her a bit underwhelming, but now I know. For 95% of the film, she is a total enigma. You never know whether she's her adult self in a scene or she's pretending to be a child, and whether her actions are in fact part of the genuine assessment, or she's just fucking with the main characters. Or, like me, you begin to question her real identity and agenda, whether there's something more going on here. And then in her final conversation with Mia, the mask finally drops. We see the real her, we learn her motivation, and it's like, holy shit, this puts everything in perspective, in context now. And also shows just how good Vikander was at the performance beforehand, that she kind of fooled even the audience. Plus, I have no doubt she was having a blast pretending to be a child in some of the scenes. On the other hand, you have Olsen, who's equally as good, but she's doing something different. She puts her heart and soul into the performance. Her desperate need to become a mother is very palpable, and you relate to her completely on an emotional level. Great stuff. I also loved the production design. The film has a distinct feel. The house is futuristically minimalist, but not in the generic sense that you'd expect. It doesn't have the traditional white lights and sterile rooms nonsense. Instead, it goes for warm colors, kind of a mid-century vibe, lots of tiles and stained glass and stone, with total absence of wood, which was apparently a conscious decision because in the world of the film, wood is either unavailable or very, very rare, much like in Blade Runner. All in all, it's a very good film that manages to say a lot with kind of a small scale setup. It felt a bit like Ex Machina or Swan Song or Gattaca, with obvious echoes of Brave New World, the novel. An intellectual sci-fi, if you will, and currently one of my favorites of the year.